Good. So, pleasant good evening, everyone. Yours truly, Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates, your integrative medical consultants. So, of course, today is Monday, the 2nd of September, and as usual, we have our weekly program or discussion on hormonal disruption, hormonal imbalance in women. Now, when I started doing this program, one of the things that I really understood is that a lot of individuals, women primarily, and even men, don't really understand uh, what hormonal disruption can do to the body, because hormonal imbalance is strongly linked to brain chemical imbalances. It is strongly linked to even mental health. Because there are a lot of individuals, for example, women who would have gone through things like postpartum depression, who would have gone through various forms of depression, uh, don't realize that a lot of the times that is not even a mental issue, but it really started in the endocrine system. And of course, it is now a hormonal imbalance situation, or the situation exists as a result of hormonal imbalance. So those are some of the things that we're going to discuss this evening. We know last program, Sunday, which was yesterday evening, we had a really excellent program. We had a lot of excellent questions, a number of individuals determining what is going on and that type of thing. So, of course, as I said, this evening we are discussing hormonal imbalance, hormonal disruption in women. So, it is a live program. So, keep in mind that your comments are most certainly welcome. Your questions are most certainly welcome. So, we're discussing hormonal disruption in women. So what exactly is that? We know, of course, the roles of hormones in the body. Hormones are chemical messengers in the body, and these chemical messengers are just that. They send various messages, to the brain, and these messages are basically interpreted, and whatever needs to be carried out is carried out. So we know the importance of various hormones in the body. For example, we know insulin, for example, is a hormone. Insulin is responsible for blood sugar regulation. Insulin is also important as it relates to metabolic function. So even as it relates to weight loss, that is something that you can pay very, very close attention to as it relates to hormonal disruption. So the thing with hormonal disruption is that hormonal disruption could actually range from very young women to women who are much older, because you're actually looking at a lot of young women having their menstrual cycle earlier than usual. So you have a lot of young ladies now who actually have their menstrual cycle earlier. So you have persons, their menstrual cycle might come about 11, 12. And from that start of the menstrual cycle, it means that they would now have this hormonal situation to deal with for the rest of their lives. So they have a period, and God's willing, once everything go well, it means that the period should continue, and it should always really pay attention to that. But what we're experiencing is that we're realizing now that a lot of women actually young women especially have problems with polycystic ovarian syndrome. A lot of young ladies now have polycystic, not only polycystic ovarian syndrome, but they also have various types of cysts. So they actually have ovarian cysts. In some cases, they actually have fibroids. Good. So those are some of the things we're going to discuss this evening. Keep in mind our program is live and interactive. We are live on our Facebook. On Facebook, we are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook, and on YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad, I believe it is. So we discussing hormonal disruption in women. Let me say a pleasant good evening to Miss Kamala Samaru, Miss Betty Phillip, a good evening to you, Miss Kathleen Ishmael. She says, blessing to you, Doc. I'm overdue for a visit. Let's pay attention, everyone. This program is always a beautiful blessing. Blessings to everyone. Thank you so very much for that. Miss Betty Phillip says, good evening, Doc, and everyone on the live. Miss Kamala Samaru, good night, Dr. Batson, and all the listeners. Good. So, you know, keep in mind, you can actually share this program. You can like it, share it with your friends, because this hormonal disruption situation is something that is becoming more and more widespread. What I, as an integrative practitioner, am concerned about is that you have a lot of young women who, because, you know, these young people now don't really eat as they should. You know, in the sense that they don't really make a lot of, no, I'm not saying that you don't have young people or younger individuals who actually do well and take care of themselves and drink the water and eat the fruits and eat the vegetables. But that's not the mass majority. So it means that if you have a child who already has a hormonal imbalance problem, and then they now come in a situation where they're not eating properly, not drinking sufficient water, they're not having proper bowel movement, it means that that female is going to have serious problems. Hence the reason polycystic ovaries, fibroids, ovarian cysts. So what type of symptomology does someone look for to determine if they have an issue? Now, the thing is, it is always good to do a test. So women could actually do what is known as an abdominal pelvic ultrasound, or an ultrasound of the pelvic, a pelvic ultrasound. And that ultrasound is going to show the size of the uterus, is going to give us the size of the ovary. And if you have anything that is amiss in there, the sonographer, radiographer is going to pick it up, and then it might be recommended that you do additional testing to determine certain things. You might have to do maybe a MRI, which is magnetic resonance imaging, or you might be sent for a CT scan if the problem is a serious problem. So ladies or young women who need to pay attention to this, if you're having an irregular menstrual cycle, something is wrong with you. What does that mean? It means if your cycle is irregular, ladies, you know what I'm speaking about here. You expect your cycle at a particular time every month. So you normally look at the days that the cycle is to be expected. So it means that it would shift because, you know, because of the different numbers in the months and whatever the case may be. But the point is, you would know once your period is regular. So if the period is irregular, that's one warning sign. What's the next warning sign? Painful menstrual cycle. So if women have very painful menstrual cycles, so we know when your cycle is ready to come, ladies, we expect you to have some sort of imbalance, that, or some sort of discomfort. You might get some back pain, you might have a little bloating, a little gas, you might find you feel a little extra bloated, your breast might be swollen, your nipples might be tender. That's to be expected. But when you reach a situation where you find it is excruciating pain, you have to take painkillers, you have to miss days, you have to take days off from work. No. That is a clear indication that something is seriously wrong. Seriously. So ladies, pay attention to that. Mothers, those of you with very young daughters, a lot of, as I said, a lot of young ladies. I remember dealing with a client at the age of 15 years. And she came to us for ovarian cysts, and the cyst was a pretty large cyst. It could have been the size of a tennis ball. And what the doctors wanted to do was actually do a radical hysterectomy. Of course, a hysterectomy on a 16-year-old is not something that doctors should really recommend. And if it's a last case scenario and they have no choice in the matter, well, then they have no choice in the matter. But if it's a situation where you have to understand now what is really going on with that female. You know, what is the body telling you? Painful menstrual cycle, irregular menstrual cycle. Our next problem is when you have the cycle either very heavy or you have a lot of spotting. So let's say you get your menstrual cycle and you find it is heavy, you have a lot of clots, a lot of bleeding. When you finish your menstrual cycle, your eyes white, the palm of your hands white, because you basically lose all the blood. A lot of women who have these problems usually have issues with low blood count, or they are usually referred to as being anemic. The thing is, remember, you have different types of anemia. You have iron deficient anemia, and then you have a whole other host of different types of anemia. You have people who have problems with B vitamin assimilation. So not everyone who has low blood count has the same reason why they have low blood count. You know, it might require a bit of differentiation in terms of others, or actually determining what your particular issue is. And that is, of course, where Batson and Associates comes in, because we actually give you the opportunity to do that blood analysis, whether it's the live blood, the dry blood. And in looking at the blood, of course, being the greatest witness, blood tells past, present, and future. I always tell persons that you cannot lie for a blood consultant. Once we take that blood and put it under the microscope, we're going to see exactly what is going on with you. We're going to see if you're digesting fats, because you're going to actually see undigested lipids, which are fats, in the blood. And if you're seeing undigested lipids in the blood, it is signaling some serious issues in the body, because it means that you could actually have a fatty liver. It could mean that you're actually having problems where the liver is beginning to degenerate. And that, of course, is a serious problem because of how important and essential the liver is to the proper functioning of the body. So, you know, it's a matter of taking a number of things into consideration, and that is why we do the live and the dry blood analysis. Now, with dry blood analysis, we actually able to see what is known as biological terrain. And that's very important because, you know, simple analogy, you cannot take mangrove. Mangrove cannot grow in the desert, right? Nor can cacti grow in mangrove. You'll understand that, right? Mangrove require a lot of water. They have very deep roots. The whole ecosystem or the terrain is a completely different terrain, so that specific plant species, animal species could actually survive there because of that, but they must be able to adapt to that particular environment. So similarly to cacti, cacti grow in where? The desert, and that's why they have large bulbs and these vessels, as it were, to actually store large amounts of water so that they can actually now survive for extended period of time because of the amount of stored water in there. So that is what essentially, stands for biological terrain. So it means if you are in a situation where you have hormonal imbalance, you have polycystic ovaries, you have fibroids, you have a painful menstrual cycle, you have an irregular menstrual cycle, then it means that you need to now address what? The root cause of the problem. Let me say a pleasant good evening to No Name Noel. He says, hello, Dr. Batson, a pleasant evening. Happy to be back. You're welcome. Pleasure having you. Rochelle Parsons Matthews, good night. She says to everyone. Nita Cooper, a pleasant good night to you. Good. So in that particular instance, it is very important to pay attention to these menstrual cycles. As I said, painful menstrual cycle. There are some women, you know, when you get your menstrual cycle, you're literally in disarray, you're disoriented, you cannot work, you cannot function. Listen to me. That is something wrong. Your body is speaking to you. How do you think women end up with ovarian cancer? You think you get ovarian cancer just like that? How do you think women end up with cervical cancer, cancer of the uterus? One of the things you need to pay attention to with women, especially ladies, those of you listening to this as regards to hormonal imbalance, is you have to look at your bowel movement. Most women who have problems with bowel movement, so in other words, you're constipated, you don't go off properly, you have to force, you have to take something to go off. That is a serious warning sign. It's a serious alarm. It is the body telling you that something is significantly wrong with you and something needs to be addressed. So, you know, of course, feel free to give us a call or visit. My open clinic day in Shogunus, Wednesday, I'm actually in Shogunus this Wednesday. So if those of you who you may want to have a consultation, I do not do the blood analysis or the scan as regards to those. Those are actually done and given to me so I could review them. Good. So that's something to keep in mind. We actually Thursday and Saturday, I believe we also have an open clinic there on Saturday of this week here, which is Saturday the 7th of September. I will clarify that with you guys because I actually have a program on Thursday. Remember that program we have on Synergy, which is usually on Synergy TV, and that's usually around 5:10 p.m. We usually have that program where, you know, we discuss health from a natural and integrated perspective. Very, very important. We're also putting some things in place for some symposiums. I know we have one coming up on the holiday, which is the Tuesday, which is the 24th of September. So mark that date. We were actually having one on the 29th, which was Sunday, but I believe we're going to have to change that because that is something we were looking to actually organize in Port Spain. So very soon we're going to have that information for you guys so that you could actually come down to one of our open lectures or open symposiums where you could actually get benefit, you know, get your answers, see demonstrations as regards to what we do at Batson and Associates, as regards to what we do in terms of wellness. So it's actually achieving wellness through nutrition, you know, really helping persons to bring about wellness. What is wellness? Wellness is basically health, you know, good health. But how do you achieve wellness? How do you maintain wellness? And those are some of the things that we will be discussing at those symposiums. So you could actually look out for those. We're going to be giving more announcements as regards to those. Keep in mind, you are listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates, where we support your health naturally. This evening, we're discussing hormonal disruption in women. Keep in mind, it is an question and answer session. So, you know, if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call or to message. Don't be shy. I know some of you may be just listening and saying, here, what? I'm not asking any question. I wait in and go to the doctor, and that's okay. But take advantage of the opportunity where you have the consultant here, so I can actually, you know, within reason, answer your question, point you into the right direction. So, you know, it's nothing to be shamed about. It's nothing to be shy about. It's a matter of understanding the human body, and most importantly, really understanding you and how we're actually able to help you. Let me say a pleasant good evening to Miss Donna Maria Elborn Kim Loins. You have a long name there, girl. Pleasant good night to you, Miss Kim Loins. Right. So, you know, as I was saying, a lot of individuals, when coming to health, don't really understand what to do to help themselves. And that's quite sad, but it is a reality. So I'll give you an example. Think of a mother who just has a child, and she has postpartum depression. How is she going to deal with that? From a nutritional perspective, how do you deal with postpartum depression? Very few people can answer that question for you. Very few people. But we can answer that question, right? So it means that we are actually able to help you in that particular situation. Ms. Sarah Hutchinson's asked, what are some of these signs? These signs, as regards to which signs? Just clarify that for me, as regards to the signs that you're speaking about. Ms. Samaru, as regards to the Londonville office, that office will be opening. We were supposed to open this week, actually, but we just had some equipment and some 1 or 2 touches that we're doing there. So we will be open by next week, please God. And we'll also be taking appointments and whatnot. We're actually setting up that for this week. So we'll be taking appointments for the opening of next week at the Londonville branch. So in terms of the signs, oh, good, I got you. Postpartum depression. Women with postpartum depression are usually very withdrawn. You usually hear them complaining about problems with being extremely tired or fatigued, easily annoyed, easily frustrated, to the point where the child almost becomes a burden to them. But what you have to understand with women with postpartum depression or people who have mental health issues, a lot of the times they don't really have too much control in the sense because the body is so weakened and the central nervous system is so weakened that they do not know what it is to do to actually deal with that situation. Hormonal imbalance. Okay, good. Right. So hormonal imbalance in women, you have various signs. Older women, you have problems with vaginal dryness. You have problems with you have problems with vaginal dryness. You have problems with mood swings. You're seriously annoyed. 1 minute you want to deal with people, and next minute you don't really want to deal with anybody else. Extreme tiredness and weakness in your legs is also one. The mental health challenges are numerous as well. Mental health challenges would include things like depression, anxiety. So you have panic attacks. You feel as if your heart racing off, just like that. And a lot of those symptomology is actually an indication of serious hormonal imbalance challenges. Insomnia, severe headaches, so migraine headaches, cluster headaches, those are signs of hormonal imbalance in women as well. Very young ladies, as I said, when you're having a menstrual cycle, painful menstrual cycle, you don't know if you're coming or going. Those are some serious signs and indicators of hormonal imbalance problems and hormonal imbalance challenges in the body. Very, very important. So feel free to give us a call or visit. You could also check out our Alphagen water, the women's formula. Women's formula is actually a capsule, a very easy product to use. We have had a lot of success with that product. And women's formula is a product that actually deals with a number of things. It deals with irregular menstrual cycle, bloating, and indigestion, especially around the menstrual cycle, painful menstrual cycle. It also helps with that. It helps with polycystic ovarian syndrome, and it also helps with overall feminine well-being. So anything to do with females, breast health and well as well, it also helps with that. And we usually recommend you take one capsule. It's 30 capsules in the bottle. It's one capsule a day. In the initial aspect, some women could use one capsule every other day. So that same bottle could actually last you 2 months, but it depends on your situation. Okay, Miss Raquel is Clarison says, good night. Where did postpartum come from? I never heard of that in my grandparents' time. Well, the thing is, postpartum, the thing is, a lot of what we have now, we may not have had it as prevalent as we have it now in our grandparents, great-grandparents' time, but they had certain challenges. The thing is, now we live in the information age. We live in an age where we share information. We could share information with the touch of a button, right? So because that information is more abound, people are able to share their experiences and whatnot. So as a result of that, we know more. So I quite frankly believe, Raquel, that it was around at that time. It may not have been as prevalent, but they may not have been able to really share and have discussions like the way we have discussions now, so that the notoriety of it or the awareness of it may have been less at that particular point in time. Okay, Ms. Sandra Pemberton, greetings from St. Kitts. Greetings to you, my dear Miss Gail Lewis. A pleasant good evening to you. Miss Rosemary Bishop, she says, good evening, Dr. Batson. A pleasant good evening, listening from Brooklyn, New York. Glad to see you. Same to you, my dear Miss Trisha Pascal, as usual. Good night, Dr. J. A pleasant good night to you. So as usual, on a Monday evening, we're discussing hormonal disruption, hormonal imbalance in women. Miss Sarah Hutchinson asked the question, what are some of the signs? And that is what I was actually listing. I was actually listing some of the signs as it relates to hormonal imbalance and hormonal challenges in women. So as I said, headaches are one. You also have problems with insomnia. So you find that women's ability to sleep is actually impaired. So she's Miss Hutchinson and asking, can you detox your hormones? The thing is, you can detox your endocrine system, which is the system that is responsible for the production of hormones. You can't necessarily, the thing is, because by actually detoxifying the body, what you will actually do is bring about, but the thing is, you have to know what you're doing where that detoxification is concerned. And there's a product we have coming out shortly. We have the women's formula. There's actually one we're going to be getting very shortly known as Female Restore. And that is actually going to be a cleanse. It has some things in there to actually help to balance hormones and that type of thing. So to answer your question, you can't really detoxify your hormones. You could detoxify the body of excess hormones, or you could detoxify the endocrine system, which will in turn balance the hormones. Okay, Ms. Hutchinson, but that's a very good question. And you all keep it coming. Keep in mind that you're listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates. Those of you who may want appointments, keep in mind we have our open clinic days. I am in Shoguna's office, or will be in Shoguna's office this Wednesday. I will be in St. James, God's willing, on Friday, and I'll also be in Shoguna's back again on Saturday. So you can take advantage of that. Keep in mind we do have our additional senior medical consultants who are here and available to actually help you and to help you to get various information to do those scans, do those bloods, and get you on the right track as it relates to a number of issues or imbalances in the body. The ultimate you says, good night, Mr. Handsome Doctor. Thank you very much. I would like to know if you have the product for fibroids at your daily office, please. Also, if you don't mind, what is the cost of it? I would like to get one tomorrow, please, God. Okay, so to answer that question for you, what you could do for me, do me a favor. So this is for the ultimate you. I'm giving you a number here, because of course where I am right now, I wouldn't be able to speak to anyone in the office. So it's 314-9975. Now I don't know if this is the same person, but I know I was looking at some discussions they were having, and there was someone who asked about this product, and someone was engaging you from our office, because what they did, we were actually organizing to have the product sent down. I'm not sure if they have it as yet, because I know that St. James office has. Shogunas doesn't have any, but I'm not too sure if Dede has as yet. But if you message on this number again for me, as I said, I don't know if you were engaging in discussions with someone from our company already. You could just highlight it or enlighten me. But I'm going to ensure the ultimate you. I'm going to ensure you get what you need to get. Okay. Nice. Miss Fiola Rudder, pleasant good night to you. PD said, is there any Santulan available in St. James? Yes, we have Santulan available at all of our locations. You have in St. James, you have in the Dede office, you also have in the Shogunas office, as well as the Tobago office. Okay. Miss Cheryl Cooper says, does fatty liver disrupt your hormones? Miss Cheryl's fatty liver will okay. All right, ultimate you. So yeah, so just do that for me, so that I will make sure I follow through for you, and I'll make sure and organize it, and I'll make sure that they get it for you. All right. So do that for me again. Miss Cheryl Cooper says that fatty liver disrupt your hormones. Yes, it would. Fatty liver would disrupt a number of things in your body. In fact, a fatty liver is actually a dangerous thing. When you have fatty liver, it can cause serious problems. It could seriously affect your cholesterol, seriously affect your triglycerides levels. It can affect your health as it relates to your body mass index. It can also affect your sleep. So yes, having an unhealthy liver is very, very compromising to the body. And you know, at Batson Associates, we do various type of detoxes. We do have liver detox. Santulan, which is why Santulan is such a revered product, and a product that we have gotten so much feedback and good feedback from, because Santulan is a 7-channel detox that really cleans and detoxifies kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. Okay, Mr. Sheldon, a blessed good night to you, sir. Miss Fiola Rada said, Dr. Batson, you are so correct. My sister died from bad medication for her serious period pains. She was put on steroids for years. She died from the side effects at 47 years, never had children. So sorry to hear that. Yeah, so the thing is, period, women, this is a clear indication that something is seriously, not kind of wrong with you or a little bit wrong with you, no. Something is seriously wrong with you. The problem with most people, there are a lot of women who walking around who have fibroids. A lot of women who have fibroids. A lot. But they don't take it on. They say, well, I have fibroids, and, you know, I have fibroids. But fibroids are life-threatening, because when you don't really deal with your fibroids properly, they stay there. You think they're going anywhere? It's like you have a big stone inside and they're just waiting to deal with you. Now, there are a lot of people who think that when women go through menopause, because of the menopause and because of the decrease in the estrogen, they tell you that your fibroids is going to disintegrate, or they're going to calcify. So you want calcified fibroids inside of you? That ain't making any sense. That's like saying you have kidney stones and the kidney stones calcified. You don't want any calcified anything inside of you. So the point I'm making is that if you have fibroids, women, start to deal with your fibroids. Start to deal with them. Don't just leave them there to cause problems later on. All right, Miss Sarah asked the question, what are drinks to balance hormones? When you say drinks, what are you talking about? From the perspective of herbs, from the perspective, there are a number of things that women could use to balance hormones. One of the things women need to know to or know to do is understand your particular situation as opposed to your neighbor or your sister or your cousin situation. Not all hormonal imbalance women are treated the same way. That's something you have to pay attention to. Someone might be estrogen dominant, but somebody might have a problem with progesterone. They might have a problem with gonadotropin. Most women who have problems with infertility have serious gonadotropin problems, but you don't hear anybody speaking about that. In order for a female to get pregnant, you have to have about 7 hormones that work, female hormones that working in sync: gonadotropin, prolactin, progesterone, estrogen, and a few others. So it means if you don't have proper hormonal or proper endocrine function in the endocrine system, then you're going to have hormonal imbalance. There's no probably might be about it. So to avoid things like uterine cancer, cervical cancer, cancer of the uterus, then you need to really pay attention to certain things. Definitely. Miss Pahote asked the question, Doc, what are the benefits of spirulina? Spirulina is a green food, so it is nutrient dense, so it's going to help with a number of things. It's going to do some aspect of building your blood. It's going to help. It has some cleansing properties in it because it is a marine phytoplankton. So it has properties associated with that. So those are some of the benefits of spirulina. Make sure when you're using it, make sure you drink a lot of water so that you would be able to derive maximum benefits. Remember, guys, hydration is everything. We had a really great discussion last night where we were actually speaking about hydration and the importance of drinking water. I was telling persons that you need to drink your body weight divided by 2 in ounces. A lot of people do not know that. They think that you could drink any kind of water, any amounts of water, and it doesn't affect you. Okay? So those are some of the benefits of the spirulina. Miss Pinky Pink says, good night, Doc. Locked on. Very interesting. Have a blessed night. Same to you, my dear. Right? Miss Cheryl Cooper says, thank you. Good. So as regards to the drinks for hormonal imbalance, first thing, water. Hydrate your body. It is very important, ladies, to hydrate. Hydrate, 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 hydrate. Remember, water is life. You know, you could survive for days without food. In fact, you could go a good while without food. How long can you go without water? Not long. After oxygen, the next most important requirement for the human body is agua, H2O, water. So remember that information I gave you guys yesterday concerning, or last time rather, as regards to your body weight divided by 2 in ounces. So make sure and drink your necessary amounts of water. Get a bottle. You all know the fat going now. Get a big bottle, have it on your desk. But you don't want to have it on your desk to model and show off. Because once you're in air condition, do not wait on your body to tell you that you're thirsty. Program yourself to drink your water, sip your water throughout the day so that you will cover your number or the amount of water that you're supposed to drink. Very, very important. Good. So again, those telephone numbers and locations, we are located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That's Money Talks building in Montrose, Chaguanas. We also on the corner of Ramsonwood Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Debe. The telephone number for Debe is, of course, you can call 314-9975. That's 314-9975, as well as 222-8261. Again, that's 222-8261. Miss Kalmina Love, always good to have you on. She says last night's session was very interesting. Yes, it most certainly was. And of course, next Sunday, God's willing, we have that session again. Keep in mind our program on Thursday. That is on Thursday on Synergy TV. That's usually from about 5:10 p.m. We have that particular program as regards to, you know, really getting things out there, really getting you to understand certain things as regards to our integrative diabetes clinic. We also have an integrative cardiovascular clinic, which of course is going to be operating out of Londonville there. We're going to be doing a number of things as regards to that particular clinic and the other clinics that we carry at Batson and Associates. So, you know, your integrative hypertension clinic, integrative diabetes, integrated hormonal imbalance. We have an integrated clinic for everything, simply because there is a need and a lot of individuals who really want help and need help in addressing those situations. Okay, there's a question that we have here. This question was actually forwarded when we Ms. Kamina Love said, I use Santulan, a very good clean out. Yes, definitely. Santulan is a 7-channel detox product that is really designed to clean and detoxify your kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. So it's very important that you really pay attention to cleansing and detoxifying the body. So any questions that you may have, if you're interested in coming for our consultation, you could always call the office and find out the cost of the consultation. You could always call the office and get the information as regards to that entire medical, as it were, where we do the live blood analysis, the dry blood analysis. We also do the magnetic resonance scan, where we look at different organ systems in the body. So what that scan actually gives us the opportunity to do, it's a non-invasive scan. So children 12 years and up could do it. We do blood analysis on children or even babies. I've had babies with eczema, and what we really do is just basically stick the heel of the baby, and we can do the blood analysis and show you. So if you have children with eczema problems, there are a lot of children now who have serious problems with eczema, serious things like atopic dermatitis, serious problems associated with even psoriasis. You know, those are all inflammatory skin conditions, and we can actually deal or work with a lot of individuals with those things. Miss Sandra Charles says, she says, hi, good night. I enjoyed last night's session, learned a lot. I'm so glad to hear that. So yes, we do have Santulan at all of our locations. Someone is asking, what is the purpose of Santulan? Santulan, again, is a 7-channel detox. Santulan, S-A-N-T-U-L-A-N, actually means balance or equilibrium in Hindi. Okay, so it is a product that is designed to bring back equilibrium and balance to different parts of the body. So, you know, it's very important to really focus on really getting the necessary and getting yourself aware of the human body, so and your body most importantly. So that is why, you know, our testing sessions are so interactive. We would actually take the blood, the consultant would put it under the high-powered microscope and actually explain to you that there are a lot of persons who have, let's say, headaches. How many of you get headaches? Is there anyone of this live on the live who could say that they suffer from migraine headaches? If you have problems with migraine headaches, Batson and Associates can help you with that. That is a walk in the park to deal with. A pleasant good evening to Miss Dawn Ellis. Always a pleasure to have you on, Dawn Ellis. Dawn Ellis, sorry, says, good night, Dr. B. Do you think that climate changes and the relationship of environmental issues on human health is an important part of some of the diseases we are seeing today? Of course, most certainly, definitely. Definitely. Climate change, we have a lot of problems with frequency. Remember, now we have telephones, we have cell phones, we have cell towers. Remember, there is a particular energy part of the body. You know, you have an energy body, and frequencies like different like microwaves and, well, different types of waves and frequency could actually interrupt or disrupt the regular frequency of the human body. And so yes, Dawn, Miss Ellis, even some of the food that persons eat, you know, which is why I'm such a huge advocate, of cleansing and detoxifying the body. Because when you cleanse and detoxify the body, you actually rid the body of a lot of environmental toxins. The cancer patients that I currently have, that we're currently working with from a nutritional perspective, because we do nutritional protocols for cancer patients. If you have cancer, respectfully, cancer is not the goal. You need to really address that from, if you're doing, or from the perspective of Western medicine, if you're doing your chemotherapy and radiation, no problem. That is your decision. That is a decision for you to make. Nobody can make that decision for you. But from the nutritional protocol standpoint, that is something that we can really help individuals with. You cannot have cancer and be not doing a nutritional protocol. You're setting yourself up for a serious loss there. Serious loss. You cannot. Cancer requires serious nutrition. Serious nutrition. And of course, you could always message us. You could always call us, contact us to get that information. As I said, this week, we have open clinic days at all of our office. Today, we had a consultant. We had walk-ins. Tomorrow, please God, we also have a consultant. You could walk in our Shagona's office. Keep in mind, if you're doing the blood analysis, if you're doing the magnetic resonance analysis scan, if you're doing that evaluation, you must fast for 2 hours. Okay? So once you fast for your 2 hours, you could come in the office, have your blood analysis done. If you do think you need a review by Dr. Batson, then I'll respond to myself in the third person. If you think you need a review with myself, then you can, of course, come back either on the Wednesday or the Saturday, or just come on the Wednesday. But just keep in mind, Wednesdays are usually very packed. So are the Saturdays when I am here. Of course, we have the other days as well with our consultants, those where you would have your blood analysis done, your magnetic resonance analysis done. So, really make that call, make that decision, and try and start to take better care of yourself. Okay, Miss Sandra Charles says, okay, good, very good. I'm glad to hear that. Ms. Rachel says, I have a friend who removed her gallbladder and now developed a hernia from the navel cut. Any recommendations? Lord Father. The thing is, hernias are very annoying things to deal with. If she got the hernia, it means it was cut in a particular way, but it wasn't, it maybe didn't heal properly. The thing is, if you did any sort of surgery, the thing is, once you remove your gallbladder, you have problems with digestion for the rest of your life, because remember, your gallbladder is responsible for actually dealing with the emulsification of fat. So someone who removes the gallbladder, your body is not able to break down fat properly. So you're going to have to use things like digestive restore, the stem cell digestive balance, those type of things to actually bring back balance and help the body break down certain things. As regards to the recommendation with the hernia, what you're going to have to do with that hernia, you could actually visit a chiropractor or get on to someone in that field where they can actually tell you how to deal with the hernia. I know there's a mixture that they make with I don't want to call it out just like that, because I haven't mixed that or tell anybody about that for a while. But there are things that you can actually do in terms of even the exercises to put it really close to dealing with the body. Okay. Ms. Potea says, Doc, how do you treat keloids? Keloids is what? That's bad skin, right? That's when the skin heals very badly. Keloids would have to get some sort of topical remedy for them. There are a number of things. I've never really dealt with keloids, but I know depending on what they, not depending on what they are, based on what they are, there are things that you can do for keloids. I may just have to do some more research for you, my dear, and I should be able to answer that for you, God's willing, when we have our next live for this session, which is Thursday, please God. I should be able to answer that for you on Thursday, God's willing. Okay, you're listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates. This evening, we're doing our regularly scheduled Monday night program dealing with hormonal disruption. So let me just highlight one of the products that we have for hormonal disruption, which is actually Women's Formula. Now, this product we have been using for in excess of 10 years. What I can say with the steroids injection, you need to be careful. Steroid injections are never good. Especially if it is you're doing a few well of them, they can cause a lot of serious problems in the body. Steroids are always a quick fix kind of situation. You'll get the results that you want. Is the side effects that you don't want to have to deal with. So you need to be very careful with that. As I said, I would do some research. I'm going to make a note of it, and I'm going to come back and be able to give you some information. I believe if you do try the apple cider vinegar, I don't know if you did, to topically use it, that should help. So I don't know, you could always let me know if it is you ever use the apple cider vinegar, yes or no. Okay. One of the questions as well to have asked someone is, so before I go to that question, let me just give you the telephone numbers and locations. We are located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That is Money Talks building in Montreux, Chagonas. That telephone number for Chagonas, of course, is 222-8261. That's 222-8261, as well as 314-9975. That's 314-9975. Those locations, again, we are the first floor of Money Talks building. That is Money Talks building in Montreux, Chagonas. We are also on the corner of Ramsden Trace and the SS Erie Main Road in Davie. That telephone number for Davie, you can also call 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Davie or Red Edge Mall, sorry, Western Main Road, St. James, that telephone number for St. James. You can also get on to the 222-8261 as well as 314-9975. No Name Noel is asking, hi, will female restore help someone over 70 years? Yeah, of course. It definitely would help them. Especially the person is having postmenopausal syndrome. So the thing is, women don't understand you could go through menopause for, let's say a woman would have gone through, or a female would have gone through menopause at the age of 45. You could be 65, 75, 85 years and still have hormonal imbalance challenges, hormonal disruption challenges. The age doesn't matter. Once you are alive, you're breathing, you're eating, you're drinking water, you can have hormonal problems because the body is constantly in striving to maintain hormonal balance. So if you're out of balance at any age, you're going to have problems. Think about it. Make sense? Makes sense, right? You are going to be out of balance at any age, or you can be out of balance at any age. So you could have 13-year-olds. That's where this polycystic ovarian syndrome. You would have a 19-year-old fibroids. You could have a 60-year-old woman who has gone through menopause and she now has postmenopause. So she has problems with anxiety, depression, panic attacks. She feels like if her heart is racing off, right? So those, again, are some serious issues as it relates to those problems. So pay very, very close attention. And as I said, hormonal imbalance, Ms. Charles is asking, hormonal imbalance is caused when you have imbalance in the endocrine system. Now, a number of things could cause that, which is why we ask clients to really do the live blood analysis, come to the office, have the appointment, and get certain things going on with you. There are some people who suffer unnecessarily, like depression. When I hear people suffering from depression, I mean, and I'm not trying to be facetious or condescending or to lack empathy here, but what I'm saying basically is that there are too many things to help you out there for you to be sick. And you know, there is a financial consequence to everything. We always speak about that. Look, for example, the Nerve Restore. Nerve Restore is a product that we carry at Batson Associates. And what Nerve Restore has the ability to do is balance the central nervous system. So one of the benefits of Nerve Restore is, and I'm just looking at it, it reduces anxiety and stress, helps fight depression, improves sleep, boosts brain function. It also helps to boost the immune system, boosts fertility and testosterone, and also helps in certain types of cancers. Excellent, excellent product. So the thing is, get yourself the information for the offices. Keep in mind too, your digestive health is always very important. Check out our Digestive Restore. Really great product. I'm actually, you know, I got back a bottle this week because I normally start taking the Digestive Restore, the anthocyanin complex, and the Nerve Restore. And watch me, I feel great. Great, excellent night's sleep, rested, and you're actually able to come now and do certain things. Rihanna Francis, a blessed good night to you. So, you know, it's a matter, ladies, of really taking care of yourself, paying attention to yourself. So one of the things that you need to do if you're coming to us for the hormonal imbalance clinic, and you suspect you have problems with you have a painful menstrual cycle, you're having heavy bleeding, you're having an irregular cycle, we always recommend that you come to us with a abdominopelvic ultrasound, which is no older than a year, right? So we want to have your tests at least within the year, so that, you know, because things could change outside of that. If it's 2 years, 3 years, a number of things could have changed. So it means those results may not necessarily apply. It could either be better or worse, but we don't know. So it's only if we take a recent assessment, then we will be able to know. And of course, that is why we have the blood analysis, the magnetic resonance analysis scan, and so many of the others. Ms. Michelle Alexander, pleasant good night to you. So as I said, make sure and you know, call, make your appointments. Those international clients, you can also do that as well. We're doing a lot right now in Ready, correcting and doing all those things for the international clients, because we have a lot of persons who, you know, want to deal with us. We have people in Guyana, we have people in St. Vincent, Barbados, Jamaica, all over the Caribbean, and of course, certain parts of the United States, Canada, and that type of thing. So we just dotting our I's and crossing our T's, and very soon you'll be able to, you know, swipe and get various products there at your door, which is what we're looking at. There are a number of companies that I work with, because I am a clinical nutritional specialist. That's one of my areas of specialization, nutritional specialist, especially as it relates to supplementation, nutrition. A lot of people don't understand nutrition. That anthocyanin complex is a product that actually has a lot of bilberry in it. You all ever hear they talk about bilberry for the eyes? So anthocyanin complex has a high concentration of bilberry in it. So, but it doesn't have any fillers in that product. The products that we use, the Equilibrium line, no fillers at all. You know, those products are very good products in terms of the efficacy, potency. As regards to the anthocyanin complex, I can't remember off the top of my head, and I don't really call prices when I'm doing these type of programs. You know, in terms of discussing health. So you can always reach out to the office. What you can do, the 314-9975 number, that's 1868, or I could actually have someone respond to you through the messages. The persons who normally deal with the 314-9975 number, they can answer you. So you can always send it there, 314 on WhatsApp, that's free. So it's 314 9975. 314-9975. Okay, anything for vaginal dryness during menopause? Of course, the woman's formula. The woman's formula will help with vaginal dryness. Also, there's a product we carry called Female Restore. That is a new product. Well, it is a product that we're starting to bring back. We don't have any that in stock right now. We should get that, God's willing, by this month here, the middle of the month, latest the end of the month. But I don't think we'll wait. We will have to wait till the end of the month, and that will actually help with a number of situations. So Raquel, the woman's formula definitely is something that you should look into. The Nerve Restore is also a product as well to deal with that situation, because, you know, women, because of going through that particular age, you know, intercourse can be very painful for them, you know. So a lot of women don't like to have any intimacy because of that dryness and, you know, all the pain and bruising that you have to go through. You just don't want to go through that, right? Ladies, you know, what you really need to do is pay attention and understand to bring balance to the body. If you're having painful menstrual cycle, as I said, you're having problems with a lot of headaches, you're having problems sleeping, who could have problems to not sleep? I met a lady, she said, Dr. Batson, I'm not sleeping for 7 years. I say, you're not sleeping for 7 years? Who's your doctor? We had helped someone. I remember I met someone yesterday. Well, not yesterday. I met someone in St. James at our office. A pleasant good evening to you, Mr. Isat. Yeah, I met someone recently, and we were actually discussing health, and we were discussing not anxiety, sorry. We were discussing Alzheimer's and vascular dementia. Now, I don't know if you guys know what Alzheimer's is, but Alzheimer's is when the blood vessels in the brain begins to start to get hard, right? Now, your blood, all the blood cells in the human body, or the lining of your blood vessels, are lined with cells known as endothelial cells. Yes, Mr. Isat, we do have things for tingling below the feet. Tingling below the feet is usually a sign of poor circulation. It could also be a sign of poor circulation that has now resulted in neuropathy, which is nerve damage. You have different. So the thing is, you could have neuropathy and you have diabetic neuropathy, but you could have poor circulation and not be a diabetic. Okay, guys? But definitely tingling below the feet is a sign of poor circulation / neuropathy. As I was mentioning, as it relates to the blood and blood circulation, is that there is something known as vasodilation and vasoconstriction, right? So vasodilation is when the blood vessels vasodilate, or they dilate, they open. Vasoconstriction is when the blood vessels constrict, right? Your blood vessels are, you have 3 types of blood vessels, right? We know this. There's primary school biology. Well, not primary school, but integrated science, right? So you have your veins, you have your capillaries, you have your arteries. The arteries are the largest in terms of their circumference or diameter, and the veins, of course, smaller than the arteries, but the veins are more elastic, right? And then your capillaries are what we know as microcirculation, or what helps with things like pins and needles, cramping in the calves, burning on the feet. So it's very important, if you're having tingling under your feet, to really pay attention. As I said, if you're not a diabetic, but if you're a diabetic and you have that, it is even more concern, because, you know, with diabetes, the chances of having serious poor circulation, limbs removed, and those kind of things can cause serious problems. A pleasant good evening to Miss Pamela Moses out in the Southland there. Always a pleasure to have you on. So we're very close to the end of this program. We're discussing hormonal disruption in women. And we, of course, made mention of the women's formula. So ladies, check that out. The nerve restore, especially ladies, if you're having problems with menopause and all the symptomology associated with menopause, please do not stay home and suffer. Do not stay home and isolate yourself. What you have to understand is that once your central nervous system starts to give you problem, it is the onus is upon you to make sure and take care of it and to fix it. Because when you reach the point where you have to take psychiatric medication and you have to start to take sleeping tablets, I feel very sorry for you, because that is why those people are in a serious state of affairs. I feel sorry for anyone who, you know, is put on sleeping tablets because of insomnia, because of what those things do to your brain chemistry. You know, if you use it once in a while at a time, if you had a problem, all well and good. But you have to come and actually address the root cause of the problem. And that is why it is important to really pay attention to that. Trisha Pascal says, when I get panic attacks, I go to the washroom a lot. Yeah, because when you get panic attacks, it causes a lot of problems. Panic attacks actually is the engagement of the autonomic nervous system. You all know what is your autonomic nervous system? That's in school where they talk about your fight or flight response. You have the parasympathetic aspect of the autonomic nervous system, and you have the sympathetic nervous system. So you have parasympathetic, sympathetic, right? And that is actually part of the autonomic nervous system. And when you have hormonal disruption, women, when you have problems with your, especially post-menopause, your autonomic nervous system goes out of balance. And listen to me. If it is you didn't feel you was going mad, you're going to start to feel you're going mad. Because you're going to get lightheadedness, headache, insomnia. You know this, you can't sleep. I don't know how people who have sleeping problems dysfunction. I don't know how. I don't know how. Because sleep is imperative for proper neuromuscular regeneration. Your neurotransmitters, that is why you sleep. That is why it is important to sleep. If you're not having proper sleep, your neurotransmitters are going to be in problems. What are neurotransmitters? What are the most important neurotransmitters in the body? Epinephrine, norepinephrine, serotonin, melatonin. So if you do not have proper balance in the central nervous system, you're going to be in problems. You're going to be problem. You're going to have problem with weakness, lightheadedness. You're going to feel literally like you're going mad. You're going to actually contemplate suicide. And that is not something normal, but it is as a result of the hormonal imbalance in your body. Okay? Doc, I have a personal question. Can I give you a call on any of those numbers? What you can do, you can message the office, my dear, that 314-9975, and I could get back to you on that. What I often tell persons is that you need, at the end of the day, we have consultations. We do offer consultations. You can have yourself a consultation, right? Take advantage of it. Let's get the information and get you to start getting results and stop being sick. I don't know who likes to be sick. I don't know who celebrates sickness, but clearly a lot of people celebrating sickness because you have people sick for years and they're just not getting better. You know, that really doesn't make any sense. Keep in mind, any sickness that you have in the body is a clear indication that something is wrong with you. Do not go and fall in that, what's the word, boy, the trap where they tell you that everything is genetic, and if your parents had it, your cousin had it, the dog had it, the plant had it, you're supposed to have it. Okay? Ms. Moses, okay, Doc. What causes someone to be lightheaded? Lightheadedness has to do with when you do not have sufficient blood flow to your brain. Once nothing is wrong with your air, because if you have a problem with your air, the internal canals, that could actually cause imbalance, because you know your air is responsible for balance, right? So if you do not have an air infection in your right ear or your left ear, and it's not that, most of the time, it is a situation where you are not getting sufficient blood flow to your brain, and as a result of that, you can have a problem with lightheadedness. The only other two reasons that I could think of someone having lightheadedness is if you have unusually low or high blood pressure, or if you have unusually high or low blood sugar. Those are also two of the reasons, or some of the reasons why you can have or feel lightheaded. Hormonal disruption, hormonal imbalance in women can also cause lightheadedness. Okay? Ms. Trisha Pascal, the devil is a liar. Yeah, definitely. Ms. Desiree Nicole Roberts says, good night, Dr. Batson. What do you recommend for insomnia? Okay, insomnia, listen to what I'll tell you with insomnia. And this is why people have to understand. If you have really bad insomnia, you have to do a consultation. You have to do it. And the reason for that is to bring, a lot of people will go and buy magnesium. They will go and buy melatonin. They will go and buy calcium, and they're still not sleeping. They might get a little relief. The reason is you have to fix the situation from the root cause of the problem. Don't try to get a shortcut, because the shortcuts are never good. Come and get your evaluation. If it is we have to send you for additional blood work, then come and do your blood work. The problem with a lot of us, we wait until we are dragging. You're dragging. The ambulance coming to pick you up. You're in the hospital. You come out of the hospital, and then you want to come by Batson and them. That don't make no sense. Don't do yourself that. Don't do yourself that. Always check yourself out. It's better to be proactive as opposed to be reactive. Who does go and do blood tests when they're sick? That don't make no sense. But that is our culture. We are not a proactive people. We're reactive. Men especially. Men don't go and by the doctor and check themselves. Very few men just go and check themselves. It's when they go to stand up to urinate and you can't urinate, and then you get stoppage of water and you have a catheter and you realize that you had a whole set of problems was wrong with your prostate. But if you was going to check yourself, and let me tell you something, when you're checking yourself, also check yourself with an integrative specialist as well. Do not only check yourself with Western practitioners. Because I'm saying that to say a lot of the times they miss things. I've had people who did executive medical. I have people who come to me, executive medical, file fat, so, and you're sick. But you do an executive medical, and the executive medical say that you're good. No, you're not good. So get a second opinion. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, guys? So we're very close to the end of our program. We are discussing hormonal disruption in women. Keep in mind those telephone numbers and locations. We are located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That is Money Talks building in Montrose, Chaguanas. Those telephone numbers below there are 222-8261. That's 222-8261, as well as 314-9975. That is 314-9975. You could WhatsApp us that. WhatsApp is free, so WhatsApp us, message us. That number again, look, it's right below here. Look, it's right here, 314-9975. Utilize the WhatsApp so you can ask more questions. And of course, some of you always try to get a consultation over the phone. You can't get a consultation over the phone. When I'm understand with a message, You need to come in and get your consultation, but we could guide you with certain things. Of course, you have to be practical in the thing. All right, come, spend your money, sit down, get a proper consultation, get a proper evaluation so that you can get help and be out of the sickness that you're in. Okay, Ms. Sharon Theodore says, good night, Dr. Batson. Rudy Sami says, thank you, doctor. Very interesting program as always. Good night, God bless. Same to you. Ms. Desiree Nico says, okay, makes sense. Yes, it does. Ms. Trisha Pascal said the panic attacks caused that. Kendall Duncan says, any Santulan needs some cleansing of the body. Yes, we do have Santulan in stock. We have Santulan at all of our locations. So you can check out Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James, if you're on that side. If you're in Central, we have the Shogunas office, first floor Money Talks building in Montrose, Shogunas. And we also in Debe. Debe is the corner of Ramsey-Woods Trace and the SS Erie Main Road in Debe. We have Tobago, which is the Triangle building in Scarborough, Tobago. The number for Tobago, and keep in mind, we actually in Tobago this month here. This week, in fact, we actually have a consultant in Tobago, and then I will be in Tobago, God's willing, sometime next week, somewhere around there. Once you call the office and you have your appointments, we'll let you know what you need to know, and we go from there. That Tobago number, let me just put it here for you. So that clinic, visit our Tobago clinic located at the Triangle building. That's opposite WASA. Scarborough, and you can call us on 226, that's 226-4553, that's 226-4553, as well as 312, that is 312-4248, okay? You can take advantage of that. You have been listening to, so that brings our program to a close. Let me see any questions. Ms. Dawn Ellis, she says, I think people get a diagnosis of what health and dental problems they have, but ignore the advice until it gets to the point of no return. True. I agree with that, Ms. Ellis. A lot of people, because you are someone who would have been a dental hygienist. Yeah, it have a lot of people, you say, oh God, I have a bad teeth here, no? But oh God, I don't have money to go to the dentist. And then you leave the teeth, and then you lose about 6 because of that. You can't ignore that there's a financial consequence to everything. And as you know, we always tell persons that your health is your wealth. Everybody does say that. You and always be saying that. What does that mean? That means if you take a man and he is healthy, or woman, and he's healthy, and you take away everything from them, finance, house, everything, and that person has good health, they stand an excellent chance of building back themselves to where they were, or even better, because they enjoy what? Good health. Once you are healthy, you are within your mental faculties. You could create, your creative mind could work, you could hustle, you could run up and down because you have good health. Do not take your good health for granted. So give us a visit at Batson and Associates. You're listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates, where we support your health naturally. A lot of these lectures now, very soon we're going to have more information. We're going to have slides. We're going to have some information there, because I like when I speak in to actually show you examples and that type of thing. But I usually do a lot of content, but in doing that, we continue to put out information, get great products for you and recommend great products for you as well. Okay, Ms. Rosemary Bishop says, Dr. Batson, thanks for great information. Have a pleasant and safe night. Same to you. Failing to realize that the mouth is the window to the body, of course, and the mouth is also a serious contributor to proper gastrointestinal health, where 70% of your immune system lies in your gut. Your mouth, your tongue is a serious thing. If you have poor oral hygiene, you're in serious problems. Ms. Pauter says, heard that silver fillings is bad. Is that true? Got them when I was 10. Yes, they are. They are terrible, actually. Remember, they have amalgams. They have things like mercury inside of them. And remember, that is in your mouth. So anything here that actually gets down into the lymphatics and circulates throughout the body. One of the things they say is that a lot of women who end up with breast cancer is a contributing factor to having silver fillings in their mouth. Women who did things like root canals as well. Root canal is not one of the best things to do. You open the body up to a number of things. Okay? So I'll answer this last question before I go. Molly Sunarine. She says, good night, doc. What are the side effects of removing your thyroids? Well, the thing is, you always should try not to remove any organ in your body. If you remove your thyroid, It means that your endocrine system is out of balance. It means things like a T3, T4, and TSH is going to be kind of be in limbo. So usually, if it is you take if you take out your thyroid, you have a lot of problems. They're going to give you medication for the rest of your life. But there are things that you could use because you're going to have to get things like tyrosine and those type of things. So it's a matter of bringing back balance by actually replacing it with something else. But you have a lot of problems with your thyroid. Remember, your thyroid is a metabolic organ. Your thyroid is a sleep organ. You know, I always try my best to tell persons, you know, try your best not to remove organs, gallbladders and your appendix. The appendix is one of the worst surgeries that they actually, you know, have had in that situation. Okay, CMOS definitely. Ms. Sunarine says, do you handle that issue? Yes, we do. We do have an integrative endocrine clinic where we deal with persons with thyroid problems. I've helped a number of persons with things like Hashimoto thyroid, hypothyroidism, which is low thyroid function. We help persons who have thyroid nodules. A lot of women end up with nodules in the thyroid that can actually cause serious problems, especially when you're at the age or around the age of menopause. Okay, ladies, this menopause thing is serious, so don't take it for granted. Give us a call, give us a visit. Keep in mind, if you plan on visiting us this week, one of my open clinic days is Wednesday in Shogunas, Friday in St. James, and on Saturday again in Shogunas. That's this week. But I have different schedules, and then we have open clinic days where we have consultants every day in an office. So you could take advantage of that and actually get yourself seriously organized. Sheldon is asking, how good is CMOS for men? Exceptionally good. It's just as good for men as it is good for women. But of course, men, it helps with virility, it helps with sperm count, it helps with testosterone. Please do not put any milk in the CMOS swimming, please. That's like putting sugar in tea. You're just wasting it. Okay, guys? So again, that brings our program to a close, to an end. It's always a pleasure to be in your company, guys. Look out for us on Thursday, please God, where we'll have that program on Synergy TV. And then we will also have our schedule live where we'll be discussing some health issues. There are some products that I came into contact recently that I have to share with you guys, but I have to do it sort of systematically. So that is some upcoming things that we have coming up. So look out for that. You know, Batson Associates always giving you excellent information, getting excellent products for you, and, you know, helping you from an integrative and natural and integrative perspective. So you have been listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates, where we support your health naturally. Keep in mind those telephone numbers and locations. For our international clients, keep in mind you can message us on 868-314. That's 868-314-9975 for your consultations and whatnot. We really put in some things in place to ensure that our international clients are very well serviced, you know, in terms of getting their products and that type of thing. Just bear with us. We're getting it done, and, you know, you'll be surprised to see the type of results you could get, the type of products that you're going to have available to you to really help you to be healthier. So, as we always say at Batson and Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. God bless you guys. Take care of yourself and have a safe night. Bye. Take care.